This week on Sbu TV, we'll look back at the career of former journalism dean Lee Coppola with some friendly ribbing, and we'll keep you linked in to the latest way of keeping tabs on the job market.
Hello and welcome to Sbu TV. I'm Dan Mitchell.
And I'm Shannon Shepard. The Russell J. Jandoli School of Journalism and Mass Communication officially said goodbye to its former lead man by cracking a few jokes at his expense at last night's Hellinger Awards in Buffalo. Broadcast professor Paul Wieland has been a friend of Lee Coppola for over 40 years, and if what follows is friendship, I'd hate to be his enemy.
He was once known as the troubleshooter. Liebert F. Coppola, yes, that's his real first name, is a West Side Buffalo guy who graduated from Bishop Fallon High School, a ceremony attended by his close family and 1,357 cousins. He went on to St. Bonaventure to study journalism under Dr. Jandoli. After graduation and a stint in the Army, where he once commanded a smoke-making unit, Lee and his wife Lee, now that's taking narcissism too far, moved back to Buffalo, where he joined the Buffalo Evening News. He was a hard-hitting investigative reporter for many years, winning awards, acclaim, and no love from the mob. One day his office phone rang and Lee's life changed. He went to the dark side, television news.
What it's like to be a stool pigeon and then fly the coop in his series, Sentenced to Secrecy.
As Channel 7's troubleshooter, Lee was sort of the blind poking the blind.
Go away. I don't have to go away. I'll stay here all day. You gotta come out.
He helped put away local Buffalo hoods for years, and his sharp interviewing skills put many to grifter on the spot.
No.
For taking down bad guys, Lee won a George Polk Award at Channel 7, but it was awarded after he had moved on to Channel 4. Funny thing, Channel 4 covered the award ceremony, and Channel 7 didn't. Soon he was in law school at UB and passed the bar while at Channel 4. His stories resulted in a jail term for Mayor Griffin's brother Tommy, and also this on Channel 4's Fence. Next came 6 years as a federal prosecutor, escaping TV news to prosecute drug dealers. A few years later, his alma mater beckoned.
Hi, I'm Lee Coppola, Dean of the Journalism School at St. Bonaventure University.
His leadership skills were legendary.
Really? You heard that from a source, huh?
Yeah, we heard it.
I'll confirm that, yes.
We all know the rest of the story. A decade and a half of success and leadership that ended in late August. Not bad for a guy who could never pronounce cacophony. Now sort of retired, Lee scans the papers every day for an ad that will land him his dream job. Next, Lee Coppola, Walmart greeter.
Coppola is currently teaching a media ethics course here at St. Bonaventure. Maybe Paul should take it.
Ellicottville and its local businesses prepare themselves for the village's annual fall festival. Mike Colaianni has the story.
Starting on the first weekend in October, the village of Ellicottville welcomes the beginning of Fall Festival, where the streets are suddenly filled with beer and local street vendors, along with various family-friendly activities, including nightmare hayrides, trips to Pumpkinville, live music, and much more.
But what does this mean to the businesses in downtown Ellicottville? With a crowd of at least 10,000 expected to show, I got a chance to catch up with a few businesses myself and learn how the sudden rush of people affects their own business.
Red Door Ski Shop manager Liz Boberg knows how important Fall Festival is to her business and its ability to bring in lots of new customers.
Just really gets what you have in your store, it gets it out there. To not just skiers, to people that are just coming for the day, coming to see the crafts, coming to see the leaves and be out with the family, and they get to see what you have. And if they don't buy that weekend, they'll be back.
Local restaurants also benefit from the rush of crowds, including the Ellicottville Brewing Company, located on Monroe Street in downtown. Manager Jim Now is anticipating a big weekend for the restaurant.
Pretty important day for us. It's actually the biggest day of the year that we have here.
We do a lot of live music out back. We serve a tremendous amount of our Oktoberfest beer, and it's really just, probably it's the biggest day in Ellicottville as far as having people in town.
Now was quick to point out how important the festival is not only to his own restaurant, but for the area's economy in general.
It puts Ellicottville on the map. A lot of people come down here and ski, so this is an opportunity for them to see the town when it's not in ski season. It really helps support the economy. I know that Ellicottville is, if not, one of the largest, definitely one of the most thriving economies in Cattaraugus County. So it helps to. We have excellent tourism throughout the entire year. The ski season has Holiday Valley Ski Resort, but even in the summer, the Chamber of Commerce does an excellent job promoting the festivals.
Despite the large crowds and the drinking that is part of the celebrations in Ellicottville, now stress safety above all else.
We always encourage people not to drink. We'll take care of people who are the designated drivers. And you just gotta, if you're gonna come and have fun, you gotta do it, but you gotta be smart. Definitely make sure you have a ride home. And if you're coming from Bonaventure, make sure you have a designated driver, or you have a cab service or a car service come back and pick you up.
For Sbu TV, I'm Mike Colaianni.
Fall Festival lasts until Sunday night. Next on Sbu TV, we'll talk tech with a look at Apple's newest gadget.
Get up, stand up, jump on my sister, don't give up the fight. We never give up the fight. You got to let them know how. Never give up the fight. Oh, get up, stand up, what we gonna do? Stand up for a ride. Get up, stand up, oh yeah, don't give up the fight.
Apple released its newest gadget this week at a press conference in California. I took a look at the bells and whistles of the new iPhone. On Tuesday, Apple held a press conference unveiling the newest model of the iPhone 4S. For many, the news was underwhelming and disappointing, as they were expecting to receive the iPhone 5. While the model of the iPhone 4S is identical to the iPhone 4, Apple reminds its customers it's what's on the inside that counts. Siri is one of the coolest new features of them all, a voice-activated device that makes your phone come alive. Siri is a personal assistant that can do anything from send your text messages, move your meeting, or tell you if you're going to need an umbrella today.
Read me the message.
New message from Sebastian. Great news. We got the go-ahead. Can you meet at 10?
Reply, definitely. I'll see you there. Play my running mix.
Is it going to be chilly in San Francisco this weekend?
Not too cold. Maybe down to 61 degrees in San Francisco.
Set my timer for 30 minutes.
Okay, 30 minutes and counting.
Another big announcement is that Sprint will now be carrying Apple products, beginning with the Apple iPhone 4S. Prices for the new phone are economical for those interested in making the jump to a smartphone for the very first time.
I'm just trying to ditch my flip phone and get on the smartphone program. I will be getting the iPhone. At this point, I'm not really too particular.
Once the iPhone 4S is released officially, consumer reviews will be heard, but initial reports of the newest model of the iPhone has a lot of promise. For Sbu TV, I'm Shannon Shepard. With some good news came some bad, unfortunately, for Apple. He's the man who grew Apple out of Silicon Valley garage and into the world's leading tech company. Now Apple chairman and former CEO Steve Jobs is dead. Apple confirms that Jobs died Wednesday after a long struggle with pancreatic cancer. Sandra Endo looks back at Jobs' life.
Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone.
Some likened Steve Jobs to a modern-day Thomas Edison. Despite his understated appearances, he was legendary for his flair and showmanship.
We asked ourselves, what would happen if a MacBook and an iPad hooked up?
Jobs was born in San Francisco in 1955. He developed an early interest in technology and at just 20 years old started Apple Computer in his garage with friend Steve Wozniak. In 10 years, it grew into a $2 billion company with more than 4,000 employees. In 1984, Apple introduced the machine that literally changed lives forever, the Macintosh.
People are going to bring them home over the weekend to work on something. Sunday morning, they're not going to be able to get their kids away from them, and maybe someday they'll even buy a second one to leave at home.
The Macintosh was revolutionary. It made computers easier to use with a strange little device called a mouse. But it was expensive, and sales were sluggish. In 1985, Jobs was forced out of Apple, but he was just warming up. In 1986, 1986, he bought Pixar Animation Studios, which later produced hits like Toy Story. He also started a computer company called Next. Its technology was so innovative that Apple ultimately bought Next, bringing Jobs back to the company he started. He soon became CEO. In his tenure, Jobs introduced technology that forever changed the way we listen to music and use our phones. All that while battling health problems. In recent years, Jobs became noticeably thin and frail. In 2009, he took a 6-month leave from Apple and eventually revealed he had a liver transplant. A year after introducing the iPad, which brought Apple its most profitable year in history, Jobs took another leave in January 2011. He stepped back into the spotlight in March, making a surprise appearance to unveil a thinner, faster update to the iPad. In August 2011, Jobs announced his resignation, saying he could no longer perform the duties of CEO. He remained on with Apple as chairman of the board. Steve Jobs' legacy can be found in his devices, long-on aesthetics and attention to detail. He followed his heart, and with his technology,
And we are calling it iPhone.
changed the world. I'm Sandra Endo, reporting.
Again, Apple co-founder Steve Jobs, dead at age 56.
Have you participated in LinkedIn Mania Month yet? Megan Sudore has the story.
The Career and Professional Readiness Center is offering 2 types of workshops scattered throughout the month of October. The first workshop is LinkedIn Basics, which answers the questions, what exactly is LinkedIn and how will it benefit me? LinkedIn Advanced is for students who already have profiles that may not be complete or who aren't using the site up to its full potential because they don't know how to search for jobs, internships, or how to network properly. So why choose LinkedIn over other social networking sites?
Whereas Facebook might be more friendly based, it might be more about your personal brand, LinkedIn would be about your professional brand. It would be about what you have to offer, what it is that you're seeking with regard to your career or your field of study, or even if you don't know what that is, being able to investigate that.
In other words, LinkedIn is basically an electronic resume that gives you an upper hand with employers. But just because you already have a LinkedIn profile
doesn't mean that it's working for you. And in fact, if the profile is incomplete, it could actually be working against you.
For Sbu TV, I'm Megan Sudore.
The Career and Professional Readiness Center at St. Bonaventure is also offering open hours for more personalized assistance throughout the month. Coming up in sports, see what fan favorite Mooney-Nicholson is being honored for now.
To find the woman who's my intellectual peer. Hey ladies, Clarence. Straight white male seeks a good cook, someone cool.
This guy votes. Shouldn't you? Y2Vote. For voter info, call toll-free or see us at y2vote.org.
One SB. One SBU men's basketball player is a preseason candidate for one of college basketball's most prestigious honors, an award that recognizes both athletic and academic excellence.
Only 50 players nationwide are named to the preseason John R. Wooden Award list, and St. Bonaventure University's Andrew Nicholson is one of them. The list is based on last year's individual performance, where Nicholson was ranked 15th nationally for averaging over 20 points a game. To be a candidate for this award, the student athlete must achieve a cumulative grade point average of at least a 2.0. The trophy itself embodies the ideas of the total basketball player, featuring 5 figures representing rebounding, passing, defense, shooting, and dribbling.
The top 20 candidates will be announced prior to the NCAA tournament.
The St. Bonaventure women's swim team looks to make a splash this season. I took a look. The St. Bonaventure women's swim team is suiting up for this year's season. Last year, the ladies finished 4th and hope to improve to finish 3rd in this year's conference tournament.
But mostly, we're looking forward to beating UMass and hopefully placing in the top 3, which I think is possible.
The Bonnies are training rigorously 2 times a day, 6 days a week, sometimes even waking up at 5:30 in the morning. The women have 3 upperclassmen on the team this year, but have seen improvement overall since last season.
There's a big difference. There's a lot of girls who are more determined and want to do a lot more for the team than last year.
Coach Johnson stresses the idea that meets are not won on paper, rather they are won in the off-season.
We have a group that can really be competitive in the A10, but we got to go out and do it, and that's kind of the stage that we're at right now.
For Sbu TV, I'm Dan Mitchell. The women hit the pool Saturday at 11 a.m. in Buffalo for the Western New York Invite. That's all this week for Sbu TV. I'm Dan Mitchell.
And I'm Shannon Shepard. For all of us here in the Coop Lab, thanks for watching.